call the Industrial Building Authority meeting to order for the month of August. And welcome everybody. And if we could start out with an invocation, Dave, would you mind?
Be thankful, Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for a new day, for the rain that nourishes the earth, and for friends, and for your word to nourish us individually. We just pray that we'd be about what's best for this county and be in your will in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay. Under new business, we have the engagement letter. CPA. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to get the approval of the minutes for July 27th. They're in your packet. Does anybody have any additions or corrections, deletions to the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion to approve. Motion in the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll get on to new business. We have our engagement letter from the CPA firm, Munchkin and Associates. Munchkin and Associates. Munchkin and Associates. And we need to approve that engagement letter. I think we've already discussed that. And do we need a motion on that? So I'll engage a motion to approve the engagement of our new CPA firm.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Motion in the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Signature changes. We would like to go to a single signature on the checking account. That's not something that's required by the banks any longer. That's not really a requirement. It makes it very difficult for us to sometimes make our bills on time with late fees and charges. The way the check writes are set up, we request, when an invoice comes in, we make that request to the CPA, to the accountant, and they cut the checks, and then the checks are brought to one of us to sign them. We have three signers that can sign those. We're not trying to track down two people. Sometimes that's very difficult, and we run into, let's say, delays in doing that. So we would like to go to a single signature. We'll still keep the three people that we have designated to sign the checks, but we will only require one signature instead of two signatures. That seems to be the norm, the way things are set up and the way the accounting is set up. We feel pretty confident that that would not pose a problem with writing checks or having checks written that weren't authorized. So, because they all run through the CPA firm. So, we would like to go to that, just to simplify and again to save us some money, because we have been hit with some banking fees, late charges for power company bills, things like that we don't need to entail. So that is one of the things that we are proposing. So if you want to discuss that, we can. Anybody have any qualms or reservations about going to that?
Is there currently any limit that is set to what amount it would require, two signatures or approval?
The limit is, the two signatures was just a policy, so this is really a policy change. It's not a banking change anymore. The old policy, in the old days, and banks don't even, everything's so electronic, you don't even, as long as there's a signature and the check goes through, so they're not even checking. It's the policy of the boards or agencies to do that one signature. You still get the bank statements, so it's still be reflected in all the accounting done with the CPA firm, and all the invoices are approved before Yolanda even sends them out. So it's just a simplification process, saving time and mileage literally to chase two signatures. You guys still see it. There's no, a big expense for an item out of the ordinary would come before the board typically anyway. So this is just power bills, utilities, those type, month-to-month type activities.
Three authorized signatures now are myself and
It's you three right here, actually. Right. So Chairman, you and Tom.
So again, it's just going to simplify paying these little bills that we have every month, and there's about half a dozen or so that are thereabouts, that a couple power bills and grass cutting bill, those kind of bills that we inevitably have a hard time tracking down two signatures to make the deadline. So since we only meet once a month, it's never convenient. We're signing checks today. It's never convenient to wait till the end of the month to pay these bills. So.
You may not get to see Yolanda as much.
Right.
don't do it.
Well, I won't oppose with smaller checks like that, but I think, Robert, you're right, that anything large should be out before. And I say that simply because of being with home, I would rather there be
Oh, yeah.
more than myself, because ultimately, the big checks, they will, if anything comes back, I don't want to be on there by myself, I want to make sure.
Well, the bank's not going to care. I mean, it can be a dollar check or it can be a $100,000 check. They don't look at the two signatures anymore either. So we could make a policy internally that we require two signatures on a check over a certain size, and that would be fine.
I think that would
So
just be
typically,
for the
again,
people signing the check.
Yeah, those big checks like that there's not a deadline per se, like there is on the power bill. If the power bill's one day late, we get hit with a $30 or $40 service
Yeah,
fee.
I understand.
And, but, we can set a limit as to what
Yeah, it's all internal. The banks have no.
the banks they really don't look at anymore. They just run through the scanning machine and boom, it's a problem.
Well, I was just thinking as far as I'm concerned, the
So what-
safety and some of the pressure that's off the back of the person having to
Have to write the check.
sign these large checks,
Right.
and that way they can.
So what would you want to set the limit? Any discussion about where the limit should be?
I know ours that, in Highland, it's $5,000.
$5,000.
Mhm.
I think that's a fair limit to say that. Anything over $5,000 would require two signatures, just for our own internal.
That's probably, I can't think of anything that would be
Anything that would be
in that range.
in that range. So we're gonna write a check.
Just as a
Okay.
safeguard.
Yeah, truly, I'm not doubting anybody, I'm just saying that.
I agree.
As someone myself, I think it's better.
Yeah, I
I
think
like
it'd
it
be-
when more than one person is
Yeah, I
signing
think it would be
checks
prudent
at a time.
on something big like that. But again, anything big like that, we're gonna bring before the board and get approval for anyway. But
Yeah.
I really don't see us having to bring every little $10 power company bill and every little bill like that in front of y'all to say, here's this month's bill for the guy that mows the grass at the industrial park. So, okay, well, we could, if I can get that in the form of a motion, then we'll go from there. So then we can have a motion that would entertain going to a single signature up to $5,000 on the checking account.
I make a motion that we make a change, that we permit a single signature on a check up to $5,000. Over $5,000, it will require two signatures.
Second.
A motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay, in your packet you have our proposed 2017-18 budget. Robert and I worked on this for the last month, trying to put this together. It's a pretty hefty budget, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're starting from ground zero. We don't have anything. We have no computer. Robert used his own personal computer, has been using it since he came working together. So we have money budgeted to buy some computers. We have money budgeted for staff. We have money budgeted in there to cover the expenses of the automobile that we already do own. We do own an automobile. I don't think there's anything, if you've had a chance to look at it, if you see anything that you have a question on, we'd be glad to address that. We tried to cover, again, this is just a budget. We could amend it or change it down the road if we needed to, but this is kind of where we think we need to be for this coming fiscal year.
Robert, so we don't have computers and other supplies from EDA left?
No, they have a copy machine, have a printer.
Release the copy.
Release a copy machine, that's all they do.
Because I know, when it first started, cities were giving 50,000 each, and the chamber more so, I think, and the county, from this shame.
Well, let me, not that they're not there, but those things that are literally in the closet are 7-year-old computers that were taken off service before I ever got there. I mean, so the physical, literally, this is mine. And the ones that, and the only reason they were even left, in case there was anything, it was, they're not in service. And there's, even if we crank them, they're 7 years old.
Yeah,
They're bought in 2000.
Windows XP or something.
Yeah.
And they can't even be upgraded to the latest operating.
Okay.
Just want to clarify that.
And it looked, I've looked at some of the equipment, and it looks like some of that equipment might have been even surplus stuff in the county. It's that old. It's even older than 7 years old. It's really old. There's some stuff that's probably 10 or 12 years old.
Okay.
But we do have a nice printer that we do, that the EDO does lease. But other than that, as far as equipment goes, we have nothing. And we've talked about our goals and objectives and the things that we want to do and put together site and building management, and all the equipment necessary to do that is reflected in this budget. So,
Okay, well, thank you. I just wondered, I knew what we all, when we started the EDL, what everybody, gave, and I'm surprised to know that, but I have no problem with updating.
I don't know what.
Updated equipment.
Yeah, I don't know.
you
We have to
have
go back and see if they, I think a lot of that equipment was probably surplus county equipment. It looks like it. Any further discussion or questions on the budget?
I highlighted several things, just some questions for better understanding. Appreciate you guys grinding this thing out. The $540,000 from Atlanta Film Studio is, the way I calculate it, it's 13 and a half months of payments, but I know there's been some adjustments. So I really don't need to know the breakdown on that. The $60,000 from the airport authority is $5,000 a month, right?
Right.
The membership dues, just for the board knowledge, what are we members of, or members in?
Can you give me a line item number and I can?
It's 6160 under dues and subscriptions. Membership dues $750.
Membership dues would be things like the Georgia Economic Developers Association, those type things we want to get actively involved in. If we want to be participating at state level, that would certainly fall under that. We have, you won't see the membership because it's under, just for clarification, under 7050, right at the last, next to the last item. That's the membership of the Joint Development Authority. That's the agency membership. Falls under that category there.
Okay, thank you. Back on that 6160, there's a $2,500 sign. Yeah, is that going to be at the Regions Bank? Or is it already there, or what's the deal there?
The sign's there. It's in pretty rough shape right now. We're talking about changing the logo that's actually on it. We think we'll be able to use the same hardware, if you will, for lack of a better word, while we change the that lettering is just tape, if you will, on a hard surface. If we change that,
It's not.
So we're going to upgrade and make our sign attractive.
Yes. And in that line item too, there, we kind of lumped everything in there, signage and branding, that's business cards. We need some things inside the building, we need a sign on the door, things like that. That's overall branding of the economic development group, so that we have some type of cohesive look and feel about it, so we're not like Salvation Army coming. We've got some business cards and that type of stuff. So stationery with letterhead on it, you don't use as much of that as you used to, but still, you need to have some things that do have our logo on there. So.
On page 2, 6360, just wondering what kind of entertainment we're going to anticipate this year.
That's just really, if we were to entertain any prospects that came into town, something outside of a meal, it could be a visit to a mission or anything would fall under that, just to, somebody that's going to spend some extra time, in the community outside of just a standard meal.
Gotcha.
It's a relatively small amount, but sometimes those type things do pop up.
And the payroll, is that anticipating an assistant
Yes.
for you?
Yes,
Okay.
more than an assistant.
That means
That person will do more than, no, not at this time, but that person will do more than just an administrative assistant type position,
Gotcha.
such as camera-ready type activities that we've discussed
Right.
and things like that, and website development, and helping with the database and some of those type activities as well.
And the, further down there, the engineering, that would be if we need a concept drawing or...
It could be anything. We have a proposal out that talks about some grading of the site and things like that. So certainly those type of engineering studies to suitability, things like that. Yes.
Yeah, I looked at that. That was kind of what we spent in the last year, I think, for the lift station, for engineering that lift station. So I just kind of went with that number just to have something in there for a line item for engineering. I don't know, it may be more than that, maybe less than that, but I did want to have something in there for possible engineering work.
That won't go very far.
No, it won't. You're exactly right.
That's all I had, all the questions I had about. It does show at the very end there, more in the black, or $197,000 in the black. So,
Is that the contract labor, is that just for lawn maintenance and anything?
Yeah, it's kind of lumped in there for lawn maintenance, and if we need to hire somebody to go out and do something special.
And then property development expenses? What is that?
The land development expenses.
She's at 6,600. We actually, under that, the reason that number's a little bit higher, that's part of the database and the photography and developing the sites, the mapping, and even potential software we may need to accomplish that. That's why that number's. Right now, you've all got a notebook, and that's all we've got. So we've got to do a lot more with that, and that's what that expense is.
Our long-range plan, we talked about this, is to build a site and building management system that has not only property that IBA owns, but as much commercial property as we can lay our hands on, find out the owner, if they want to sell it, if they will sell it, who the contact information, almost like a commercial MLS system. So if someone comes into the community, because Robert works with people that have really nothing to do with properties that we own, they're just trying to locate in our community, and we're there to help them locate sites, walk them through the process. We feel like that's an integral part to economic development. And to be able to do that in a timely fashion, we were down to the state a couple of weeks ago, and I've worked with various agencies in the states, and he who gets there first with the best presentation is the guy who has the best chance. If you can get there with a slick piece of paper that has a photograph of the building or the site, a floor plan, all the information, is there a gas line there, is there water, is there sewer, all the capability, how many loading docks does this building have, all that documentation, that's what we want to compile, and that's what that number
And
is.
it's not just property that the IBA
No.
has an interest in. It's all commercial.
Also,
So now, I got a search yesterday. I need 10 to 20,000 square feet of existing warehouse. So we'll have that at fingertips, and I can basically respond to that or link to that immediately during a phone call, literally.
right. Pull it up and
We're not
email the
there
guy
yet.
something, boom, here it is. Because now, the way, we had that same response about a month and a half ago, we found out on Tuesday, they needed 22,000 square feet. And so we were up all night on LoopNet and trying to track down these properties. Well, that stuff's outdated, it's not, it's not current, it's overinflated, it's not accurate. So you really can't go hang your hat on somebody else's information. You really have to own that information. And again, some of this information we're going to be able to acquire from the tax office, for one thing. That gives a list of every commercial property in the county, and we can work back through that list and decide the ones that we feel like are potential to be put in our database.
But all of it's very time consuming.
It's very time consuming. It takes people to do that, and that's what that amount represents, is to get this started.
But thank you.
Anything else? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the budget.
I make a motion that we approve the budget for fiscal year 2018, or for July 2017 through June 2018.
No second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I would like to say this time, I appreciate y'all letting me take the time to ask the questions.
Oh, yeah, we want you
Well, thank you.
to, we want you to
So many
lead it.
times I know I have
Please.
felt like, oh, good grief, I can ask the question.
Ask.
No,
Please ask.
Thank
We
you.
want you engaged. We need you engaged. We need everybody,
Well, that's
we
not-
need everybody on this board engaged in this process. Robert can't do it on his own. We know that. We got that out in a hurry. So, we want you to be engaged. We want you to ask questions, and we want you to know.
It's
So when
first
somebody
meeting-
asks you, you have an answer. You
First
know.
meeting I've ever been to where I felt like I could ask questions without somebody saying, oh, don't ask questions in public. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, reports and updates. Stacy from the chamber.
I want to announce that next Thursday's Georgia Power Luncheon is a special one. It is our annual Public Safety Appreciation event. So each of the public safety entities will be doing awards. We also have a special presentation. We're going to choose one public safety entity a year. So this year will be the Sheriff's Department, and we're doing a canine demonstration on site and some SWAT demonstration as well. So it'll be their spotlight. So please join us for this event. I ask that you please register now if you plan on attending.
Yeah.
We also have a tourism committee meeting. That is a very, very strong committee of the chamber. It's got a lot of momentum behind it. That is going to be September 11th at 8:30 here at the chamber. So let me know if you're interested in attending that. And I'm also excited to announce that our Leadership Paulding 28 class is completely filled, actually a little overfilled. We're going to be going in with 24 participants, and that will start with a retreat in September, and we'll graduate May of 2018.
Great. All right, our new executive director's report.
Appreciate it. First of all, thank you for your vote of confidence last month. So really appreciate it, and looking forward to working with all of y'all and turning the ship around and start heading in the right direction, so to speak. It's been very busy first month. We've got a lot going on, made a lot of headway. A lot of it's behind the scenes, but there's a tremendous amount of activity and things going on to just get our hands around what's out there, get a budget proposed and things like that. So we're excited about that. I'm excited about the future, and just thanks for that vote of confidence putting me in the position we're in. A lot of things going on. Just for some of the nuts and bolts, we have 2 projects that have submitted plans for approval at the county level. We don't have a formal announcement on those yet. One of them's an additional 22,500 square feet, about 20 to 40 new jobs there. The other is that's an existing industry. Another is a new facility, 14,400 square feet, about 35 to 50 new jobs with that one. And the other, as far as jobs and things, is another local company. It's not underway yet with their expansion. They've not submitted the plans, but it'll be about another additional 100 jobs. That's about 200 jobs. The good news is, part of the good news is we're restructuring EDO, IBA, this, that, and the other. One of those projects we really couldn't have really tackled in a productive way just within the last 6 months, that we're able to really kind of roll it in the hole now. So I appreciate all the efforts get things headed in the right direction there. So that's really good news. We're excited about revamping the office, the budget here to get things going there, to bring a person on board to help with some of the things we've already discussed this morning. The EDO from that side of things is excited about the new progress that we're all making, and that board is ready, willing, and able to help in any way, shape, or form. And I hope that's a new prospect for all of them. I won't answer it right now, but anyway, so a lot of good things happening. We've made some tremendous headway in 30 days. Robert and I seem too much together, maybe, but we're spending a lot of time together, maybe making a lot of headway, so I appreciate that. And again, we're talking about just a total relaunch with how we do economic development, and I can't say enough about the counties and the cities and the chamber getting on board with that relaunch, and really I think the future is bright now. It's been in many, many years for economic development in Paulding County, so that's exciting.
Anything else?
That's it for now. Unless you want me doing all the details while you and I sit together for about 8 hours a day. So.
No, we have spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks. We've had very productive sessions. Robert and I think a lot alike. We both have a lot of the same background. We kind of work through the same processes to get where we're at today. And we've been able to work with the commissioners and with the cities and with the chamber very successfully in setting this new program up. And we're excited. We've got, we were in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Met with the folks there from Economic Development. Matter of fact, we met with every major division that has anything to do with economic development in the state. The Economic Development Office, the Film Commission, Tourism, DOT, who am I leaving out? Congressman Gray. We were in a room with probably the 15% of the payroll that the state puts out every month. I was sitting in that room with. There were about 25 people in that room, and it was an honor for us to be able to get in front of those people and state our case, put forth some of our concerns and some of the things that we saw that the county needed to have in economic development, and they were very, very open-minded and listened to us and made a lot of great suggestions on how we should approach the state level funding, federal funding, those type of things to move on forward. So we're real excited about it.
Can I add that?
Yeah.
And about a week after that, we had the same type of meeting with the Metro Atlanta Chamber, and same type of positive comments and results from that meeting. And both of those statewide, region-wide type development partners are excited about the changes that we're making and moving forward.
Right.
They certainly relayed that to us.
And the Metro Chamber came to us, that's never happened before, that I to my knowledge, that they came here, sat down with us and said, what can we do to make all things work? So we're really excited about that.
I think we're all excited that maybe we're putting some of the past behind us and looking forward to the future.
Yes. We are looking to do economic development in Midway and Paulding County, and we're excited about that. So, with that said, we need to adjourn to executive session, discuss litigation, real estate, and personnel. Can I entertain a motion to do so?
My motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? We will be back. Bring us back from executive session. Motion to return to regular session.
Motion to return to regular session.
Second.
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 Second. And motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're back. There's no actions taken in executive session.
But I would like to make a motion to allow the chairman to enter into the second amendment to the lease purchase of agreement for the film studio.
Have a motion?
Second?
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Robert, did you want to discuss what you started to discuss up there and we realized we had to discuss it down here? About the
Yeah, we can, real briefly. We have set up in order to have a way to operate day-to-day, we needed a credit card, some way to purchase items. That's hard to do, we found out. In order to do that, they want either my personal information or Robert's personal information, and we really didn't care to have another credit card on our credit reports. So in order to get around that, and we had to guarantee it, that was the other thing. So to get around that, what we have done is we have opened up a credit, or a checking account that doesn't have any checks in it. It's just a debit card account that we can put money into as needed and use that debit card to make purchases off of. I mean, we've got to buy some of this hardware, and to do that and make it affordable, it's probably going to be ordered online. And to do that, you got to have a credit card. So that account is set up, and that debit card is working, and you can buy windshield wipers with it. So you know that if they don't work, then you buy windshield.
We tried that.
We tried it.
Simplest.
And I meant to bring that up, that has transpired, and we are now able to make small purchases on that card.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah. And that'll show up in the bank statement. We will have a bank statement, so we will know the monitor what's committed to that card. Any further discussion on anything else, any other business? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion in a second. All in favor? Say aye.
I just don't want you to escape.
Oh, okay, okay.
I want to do shameless plug for Polly Meadows.
Oh,
Okay, at the Arts and Crafts Festival, the chamber is a sponsor of Polly Festivals and has been since its inception 38 years ago. Polly Meadows is a nonprofit organization that's put together by other nonprofits in Polly County. Nobody gets paid. We don't make a dime. The nonprofits make the money from Polly Festivals. And with that said, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for anybody that wants to volunteer to help with parking in a food booth with Rotary, or I don't think Chamber has a food booth this year, do you?
We don't, but we're working the gate.
You work at the gate, so there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you to help those organizations in Polly County. So if you got a couple hours Saturday or Sunday, give Stacy a call or me, or and let me know. And it's a great. There's about 20 to 25,000 people.
What are the dates?
Pardon me?
What are the dates?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday, the 9th and 10th, the weekend after Labor Day. So you have Rotaries out there, they all need help in their booth, and Rotary does all the parking, which is a huge undertaking. So if you've got a couple hours to help tell somebody that they need to go down that road, not that one, I know the Rotary would appreciate it. They also sell barbecue, so there'll be opportunity there for the kids.
it's a bunch of fun.
It
is.
The gate, working the gate's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Watching feet, parking.
It's probably been my 20th year, and it doesn't get old. They're good people.
All kinds
Yeah.
of, yes, ma'am.
Can I make a comment or two?
You may certainly do so.
I don't know how it could be handled. I don't know if you have enough interest to handle it, but this is so vague. To get on the agenda to speak about something is sort of like, trying to guess what you're all going to be discussing or what the business actually is. I would have liked to have spoken about the signature changes. I'd like to know more about what you just came out of executive session and voted on with the contract for the film studio. I still feel that somehow we need more information and a way to, if you don't want to get more detailed on the agenda, then allow us the opportunity to get onto the agenda just in a general way as opposed to having to have a topic, because even if you probably did discuss or give more detail about the signature changes, until I heard everything, I probably wouldn't have necessarily had an appropriate comment or even thoughts about the whole thing. So, not knowing what your move is. So I don't know how that can be handled, but, it'd be nice if for us, not for you, I realize it's inconvenient to you, but that's, oh well.
Well, we can certainly look and see about making the agenda a little more narrative, put a little more restrictions on here so it's a topic, we'll try, we'll see.
And I don't know where you would have citizens speaking, if it would be after closed session. I mean, that would be fine too, because this way, like using again the signature changes as an example, if I was not aware of everything that you were going to talk about, that would give me the opportunity then to address what you actually did discuss. So.
We have a section for this, district business or whatever, and on our agendas, we have a section for visitor business.
The way it's been established, about 3 or 4 years ago, is that we had to apply to get onto the agenda and give our topic. And the truth is, with Blake Swafford, it would be a volley back and forth. He would pretty much, Kathy, like a good 3-4 times sometimes, to get every possible detail he can so that the boards would be prepared for what we had to say. And more times than not, we were told no. And, we would just like some change,
And I don't know that there was, and Tom can help here, I know that the policy was established for the airport authority, was it for the industrial building authority?
I think both of them.
Both. Both.
Okay.
I think, I'm not 100% sure.
So I guess, maybe review, and that could be something that you guys could discuss, the public participation part of the meetings. I think that would.
And we certainly want that, we want the public.
Exactly. And the more you discuss them in front of the public, the more informed we are.
Right. One thing I will say about things like that contract, it gets real sticky. I can show it to you now after we sign it, but I can get in all kinds of trouble if I show it to you before.
I understand
before we vote.
that.
So
I
I can't
realize.
guarantee, I can say, yeah, we're talking about doing this with the film studio. I can't necessarily do that, but certainly after the fact, once we sign this and it becomes public record, you're more than welcome to review it and go over it and get on the docket next time if there's an issue about it that you want to talk about. We're more than glad to hear you at that, but I can't guarantee I can bring things like that to your recognition beforehand.
I realize
But you're right, things like changing the checking account, things like that, yes, we can do a better job of putting the narrative out there and explaining exactly what we're talking about doing, and maybe some reasons why we're talking about this is to satisfy this problem. So maybe we answer your question for you before you even have to ask us to ask the question. We can certainly do a better job, and we'll work towards doing that. So.
Okay. And like the BOC, the way they handle it is, if it's an agenda item, you don't have to get onto the agenda. You can sign up right before the meeting to speak about it. So even that gives us more leeway then,
Well, we've got a little better environment now we can do things in. We're not pushed up against another meeting or something else coming in. So this form's a little more open for us to do things with. So certainly we can do that.
Okay,
a lot
great,
easier.
thank you.
Can I be coming?
What's that?
She was just sharing, and I haven't seen at the airport, she has a copy of the airport public participation. She's going to email me that, so I'll look at that. And yeah, we want to, give you the information that you need and we need and feedback, and it goes both ways, like you said. And just kind of summarizing that, I'm a phone call or a door knock away. Don't hesitate. I'd love to talk to you.
All right, good, thank you.
Yeah. And again, and I realize, I'm sitting here looking at it, going, yeah, that's pretty vague.
Yeah.
But it's just a little housekeeping thing to us, but it, because we deal with it every day, but that doesn't mean that
that you guys know what's
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're not dealing with it every day, then it's not a
It's
little
not a little
housekeeping.
housekeeping thing.
No,
It's-
it's
Yeah,
not.
I get
Yeah,
it.
It's
yeah,
not.
So I'm sitting here, I said, that's exactly
Exactly right. It's put together so I won't forget something. That's
Yeah,
all
that's-
put together.
yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
video down through, because I'll forget something if I don't have it like the ABC vote this year, so. And that's all it's ever been, but you're
Right.
But if
right.
you look at it on the agenda, I really didn't know whether we were going to change the
Yeah.
wages bill for Robert, for all you do. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And I would like to think, on some level, since you are serving the people, that you would actually be open to hearing what we have to say, and some suggestions, and that sort of thing. Not, not that I expect us to change your minds on anything, but at least to be open to hear us, so.
Well,
I agree that everybody should have an input.
we're definitely open to hearing what the public has to say.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll talk to anybody anytime, so
Robert's got
Right.
really doing there as well. And now there's
I like
there's,
it.
unlike in the past, there's an actual place you can go where there is an IBA shingle hung out. We've never had that in the past, really.
Right.
I mean, we have a place now, you can come to the CEO's office, that is the IBA's headquarters now. Robert's there, we'll have staff there coming up, I'm there a lot, so.
Sometimes things just appear in my office.
Yeah, sometimes they appear in his office. So we're there, people are there to come by, make a phone call, come by, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and we'll be glad to discuss anything. And if you want to call, if you've got something really pressing, or if you have an opportunity, we definitely want to hear those. We are really open to opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would add, if you don't have, until he gets an assistant and gets a partner in there, he has to go to meetings. He may be out and it may be locked. But,
Yeah.
I've had that happen, but in the future, we probably have it covered all day long.
Y'all got my cell, if you want, don't, I'm happy to,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Okay.
As Robert could attest, even late at night.
All right. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the input.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
We're adjourned. Thanks, Marty.